Hello. As usual, I have too much to do and I'm behind on everything, so I'm going to take a brief Blobz vacation. And it'll be great. So let's go over here and do Twin Pines Mall, which is a beautiful grid. And we need to pick background. And wow, look at that. This looks like the fire. Let's do this. The twinkling time. That's cool. Wait, it makes noise. Don't do that. Wait, don't. I'm sorry. Wait, I don't know how to mute it. Oh, very frustrating. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, that was probably really loud. That was annoying. Okay, let's turn this down very slightly. And this is all okay. Okay. What are we doing? Normal Sudoku rules. Apply blue cages with digits from the 4 previous puzzles. Oh no! I don't know what those are. Oh no! Do I have them? What a disaster. Okay, I wasn't sure if I saw them in this browser. So AO is a 1. Tempus Fugit. 9. Oops. So it's 1, 9, so 1985. 1955? 1955, right? Obviously. Of course it is. 1955. It breaks my heart how far away we are from that. We're further away. Oh man, I don't want to think about that. Because 1985 to 1955 was only 30 years. And now 1985 is 40 years ago. So we're further. Oh, it hurts my feelings to think about that. How did I get so old? Okay. Whew. And then we have whispers, some cages, and circles. Seems manageable. You people will be low. You people will be high. You will be low. Wait, did I screw that up? Low, high, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, high, low. Okay. Possibly okay. Twin Pines. I know Twin Pines, I cannot get out of my head. There's a song by Built to Spill called Twin Falls, Idaho, which is a different thing. Waterfalls are different than pines. But it's just comes into my brain. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 in these. Obviously 1 sees those. This can't be a 4 because it would need a 9 there. This can't be a 4 because it would need 9s all over the place. This, I think, could be a 4. This can't be a 3 because you'd have to have an 8, 9 pair. So that is the 2. This can't be a 4 because it can't have a 9. This can't be a 2. 3 or 4 means 8 or 9 here, and it can't be 8, so it is 9. This makes this 7, 8, 9. No, I'm sorry, 6, 7, 8. But you're not 6 because you're not double 1, and you're not 6 because you're not double 1. And this actually could be 7 with 1, 2, 2, I think. And you could be 7 with, interesting. Anyway, that does, I mean, obviously 5's down here. And also, well, 5 is down here and 6 is down here, and then the other half of the 3, 4 pair is down here, which also puts 5 here. We get 8 in this 14 cage. So the other two digits must sum to 6, and we don't have 5, 1. So we have 8 in here, for sure. And we must make 6, and it must be 4, 2, because it's not 5, 1. So that's 2, 4, 8. So this is 3, so that's not 7. It is 8. That's 1, that's 7. That is a 4 after all. So this is 3, 5, 6. At some point we will think about these flames. On the side of my face. 1, 9, 1, 7, 9. 1, 7, 9. How many circles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 total. 9 would be a lot of those. Doesn't really seem possible because there's not 9 different cages with flames in them, right? So you're not 9. Is 7 possible? 7 would... There's no flames here and no flames here. So the only way that this could be 7 is if it was a 7 in all of these cages, right? Like if we tried to make this 7, then we need a 7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You obviously can't be. If we put a 7 here, then this is definitely not the 7, right? Because we said 7's here. That means 7's here, which means that's not 7. That means 7's here, which means that's not 7. 7's here, which means that's not 7. But it actually seems like it works. Like that could be 7. Huh. This is a 5-7 pair. Maybe I'm supposed to know that already, and I'm just missing it. This is a 2-6 pair. Now, if we did do the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. We did need another 7, so you could have like 2 and 5 or something like that, I guess. Meanwhile, 1, 7, 9 and a 2, 6 means up here is a 3, 4 pair, which is not related to any flames, and that means the final digit here is 6, I think, which is high. I got a feeling I'm supposed to know these things by now. There's no 8 in the 7 cage. Should I know these things already? I don't know. I don't know if I should. I mean, that 7 felt attractive. I thought we were going to be able to rule it out, but it seems to want to exist. Oh, 7 is always 1, 2, 4, by the way. And there's no 1 here, and there's no 4 here. Let's take the easy wins. Interestingly, there's low digits here. Right, cool. That's nice. So 1, 2, 3 means we only have 1, 2, 4 to make the 7 means we only have 1 low digit. So these, we can't put low here because then this would be low. So this is low and it is a 3. And that means this is an 8, 9 pair. That is high. And that means low, high, low, high, low. And that means high, high, high. It means the twin is all high. It means these branches are low. Right? I think. We have to put 4 in here somewhere. 4, unfortunately 4 could go there if it was a 9. So forget everything I was about to say. This low digit is also a 3, by the way. This is 8. That's got to be 1, 2, 3. And the 4 goes here, and the 9 goes here. We do know 5's down here. You're not a 3, by the way. Turns out. 5 down here means that's not 5. So in terms of like highnesses, you're not a 6, for example. Well, let's think about this. Oops. You're obviously not a 6 because you'd have 1 on top and bottom. If you had 7 would have to be a 1, 2, which I guess is possible, but that would put a 4 here, so a 9 would be there, but that seems not like a outrageous thing to ask. You are all low, by the way. You're a 5, 6, 7 triple, which we talked about the 7 possibility. You do get a 3 up here. That is an 8, 9 pair. Up here, but it's not on fire. Well, there's fire in here. I probably need to be thinking about, excuse me, more about these flames than I am. But let's just do this for a minute with a 1, 2, 4 here. Just think about what the reality of that is, because this certainly can't be a 4. This could be a 4 with a 9. This could be a 4 with a 9. One of these is a 4, so one of these is a 9. So there's no 9 like this, and there's no 9 here. So 9 is like this, I think. This 2 is just not very restrictive. This could be this digit. Do we need to think about cages more? Like how we're making a 10? 9 and a 7. There's not a 9 in here. Or an 8. Or 5. Where is the 9 in? Restricted. I mean, there's not a 9 here or here. There's no 9 in here. That's not 9. That's not 9. So 9 is top or bottom of the column 4. The 3 down here. Do we think there could be a 3 here? That would mean this had to be a 7 that didn't use a 3. So it would need to be 1, 6 or 2, 5. Couldn't be 5. It had to be 1, 6. Maybe. What digit is there a digit not represented here yet? No. This is, in here we have the other half of the 5, 7, and then something from like a 1, 2, 6 situation. Did we figure out, I kind of want to go through those 7s again, just to make sure we haven't ruled something out at this point. That's what we're talking about if we're trying to put 7s on fire. The 7s need to be on fire. We were talking about this. We need to think about that 16 cage. I don't want to. I don't want to think about the 16 cage at all. Do we need to think a little bit more about whispers? We got that whisper on lock. Cages are looking not ideal. But this would be the 7 situation. So I guess one thing we can take from that, I guess, is that this 7 is never on fire, because if this 7 is on fire, we have to have an on fire 7 in every cage, and we can't. So this is never an on fire 7. Because it's just broken for it to be on fire. And that does put 7. That means this is never 7, right? because we're saying 7's in here for sure. So to do that, to be on fire, we're saying 7 is here and here and here and here and here and here and here, which is, that is a valid conflagration. It's a valid there's some kind of wordplay there that is escaping me. Conflagration? Does that mean fire? Conflagration? Conflagration, a large disastrous fire. I don't know how to pronounce it. No, conflagration. I was putting too many syllables in it. Conflagration sounds wrong. Anyway, do we actually think that there's an 8 in here? If there's an 8 in here, we have to make another 8, and that seems not hard to do at all. What do we think? We did say, right. We said that if there were 7's, we'd need to make another 7, which, for example, would be 1 6 or 2 5 or 3 4, and maybe there's considerations about that, or maybe it's a very obvious thing that I'm missing. The thing about the 6 can go in here. If this is the one, that's a fine thing to happen. We know the 4 is here. We know 4 is in here, and we have argued I feel like I made a mistake somewhere. We talked about this being a 4. No, what we said was, but one of these is 9. But unfortunately, 4 can be either there or there. So, like, the 4 is maybe not as useful. The 3 is up there. These digits are not low, and they're not 5. So these are high digits, whatever they are. They're high digits. And this is high. So this is a high 5 pair. So this digit is obviously 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it's not 8 or 9, right? And this digit is also high 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And in fact, this one is 2. We don't know that anything's ruled out of those. Like you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but what's ruled out? 7's ruled out of here. Right? There's 7 we've decided is over here. So you're not 7. So 7 is in this neighborhood. This arrangement is vexing. This is definitely high. So it's definitely an 8 or a 9, right? That's a true statement. These are low, definitively. Excuse me. The thing is, like, maybe the other way to think about it is like, what do I do if I don't have 7? Right? If I don't have 7, what becomes of me? It means we definitely have 5 and 6, right? So let's say we don't have 7, then we have a 5, 6 pair, that's 11, and we need 3 more, which is either just a 3 or it's 1, 2. And it would have to be 1 because if we're saying there's no 7, so what we're saying is that this would be a 5, 6 pair. And this would definitely be a 1. So we'd be at 12, so we'd also have to have 2s. That would be from a 5, 6 pair. And this would have to be a 2 then. Does that actually work though? Like, are there 5 places we can have 5s? And 6 places we can have 6s? because there's 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means that we would have to have a 6 in all but one of them, right? And a 5 in all but 2 of them. Having a 6 in all but one of them doesn't actually seem to be very hard. Having a 5 can escape 2 of them, and that also seems fine. This would definitely be 1. So in that scenario, we are saying our digits are 1, 2, 5, 6, right? So anywhere there was a flame, we would be arguing that the flame had to be 1, 2, 5, 6. So this would be a 1 or a 2. This would be a 1, a 2, or a 6. This would be a 6 because it can't be 1, 2, or 5. This would be 6, so this would be a 1 or a 2. This couldn't be 5, couldn't be 1, so this would be 2 or 6. This seemingly has some options. You could be 2 or 6, you would definitely be 5. You would be 6, you would be the only one. There could not be ones anywhere else, right? So that's actually an important point. That means all these other places really only could be. That means every one of these other digits could only be 2 or 6, right? Because this is definitely 1. Sorry, 2, 5, or 6. So this is a 5, 6 pair. This is 5, 6. These are 5, 6. This is 2 or 6. This could not be 2, so this would have to be 6. So this would have to be 2. This would have to be 2 or 6. This would have to be 2, 5, or 6. You would have to be 2 or 6 in this tin cage. Oh, I'm sure that this is not as hard as I'm making it out to be. Something is probably clearly excluded. The problem is that you could have obviously you can have the 5 or the 6 if you have the 7. So is that worth thinking about? Like if we have 5, 7, you still need either 3 or 1 or 2, because in that case you could still have, you don't have to have a 1. You have to have a 2 actually, because there wouldn't be a 6. So if you do 5, 7, you have to have a 2. Let's think about this one more time. And by one more, I mean 100 more. We'd be saying that our 7s are arranged thusly, right? And then we would be saying we have to sum to 7 with what is left over. So these would be our 7s. And then the leftover digits would need to sum to 7. So could we have it's interesting because there's definitely a lot of numbers that we just couldn't ever have, I think. Knowing that either it's that there's always a 5 or a 6, and then there's always either another 5 or 6 or a 7. So they're pretty high digits. The lowest case meaning being 5, 6. And then if you do the 5, 6, you have a 1. So you can never have 4, for example. I think, is that right? The 7 would need 3, 4. Yeah. I don't think you can ever have a 4. I don't think 4 can ever be on fire. So is it worth pencil marking what I think can be on fire digits? Maybe that would help me just reason through this a little bit, because I feel like I'm kind of off track. So let's just think about these for a minute. these in particular, because we haven't thought about these in particular yet. We know that we can't have 8 or 9 because it's just not physically possible, because there's 2 places where they don't belong. I'm going to argue that you can't have 4 because you would need then what? If you have 4, you gotta make 10. Can you have 4 and I'm just wrong about not having 4? I mean, they would have to be, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 cages where they could be. So you'd have to have, it would have to be 4 here and a 4 in like one of each of the 3 columns. So what that would have to be is, that would have to be 4. That would have to be 4. So this would have to be 4. And this would have to be 4. And if you did that, then you still have to make 10 with the 5, 6. But I thought why did I talk myself out of 4? Was it because you at a minimum have if you have 6, 7, right, that was why. Because at a minimum, if you have 6, 7, you're already at 13, so you can't have 4. And if you have 5, 6 in here, you're already at 11, but you have to have a 1 here. So you're at 12, so you can't have a 4. So if you have the 7 at all, 7, 5 is 12. So you can never have 4s. Let's just say 4s are not a thing you can have. I know I'm making this harder than it's supposed to be. It's already clear to me because it was so smooth at the start, but now I'm just on my own little journey. So it is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, right? And obviously a lot of those are just ruled out. This 5, 6, 7 is seen here. So another, I mean, this we could have figured out very easily was at least a low digit. This sees 1, 2, 5. So 3, 6, 7 is a possibility there. This sees the 5. And I think actually only certain of these can be 7s. We'll revisit that in a second. You see 1, 3, 5. And you see 3. And you see 5. So, and in terms of like where we would have to have 7s, this would have to be a 7. So this is not 7. And this would have to be a 7. So this is never 7. And this would have to be a 7. So this is never 7. Did that help me at all? Unclear. So the 3 here is funny. I'm sorry, Blobz. I know I'm off the beaten path, and now I'm just doing things in a ridiculous way. It does. Putting the 7 here, you could still be from 8 now. We can also still be in a 6. I don't think that matters that much. Probably I'm just supposed to be thinking about these cages I refuse to think about. Oh, almost. Almost we get a restriction just from like highnesses and lownesses, but just not quite. There's definitely another high digit here. So in terms of this, 6 would need a 4, so it'd be 3 and 1. So that doesn't seem too hard. 1 would need a 9. That could be like 3, 7 or something. I'm sure there's very simple things to eliminate here that I am, as usual, making overly complicated. Like there's probably some just very obvious whisper logic ruled out, and I'll be very embarrassed when I realize it. 6 can go down here. So like a 2 here doesn't seem catastrophic. I guess that is another kind of question, is if 7's not on fire, where do we put it? Like, it has to go here if it's not on fire. And it has to go, if it's not on fire, it has to go here. And maybe that's not that helpful to think about. It has to go in here. There's some, what obvious thing am I missing? What tremendously obvious, straightforward, easy peasy thing am I failing to observe? I feel like we were moving very smoothly, and then, so we definitely have, there's a low digit up here. There's definitely at least a high digit up here. That's almost interesting. Like, at most, you could have 3 high digits here. So there's definitely a high digit here, and a high digit here, and a high digit here. So there's only one more high digit. And in fact, there could be 2 high digits here, in which there'd be no, in which case there'd be no high digits here. Oh, bother. Botheration. You're not 7. Like, that's, so this is just 6, 8, 9, but you could be 6, I think. If you're an 8, 9 pair, 9's pushed over here, which doesn't bother anybody. Oh my gosh, this puzzle is definitely not supposed to take this long. Blobz, I've gotten worse at solving puzzles. It's clearly happened. Is it these cages, or is it circle logic? What is it? Or is it just thinking about highs and lows? Or is there some tremendously obvious Sudoku situation? If I make this a 1, there's no more 7s, right? If I make this a 1, 7s are just not allowed to be in here anymore, right? So if I do that, this is definitely 1. This is definitely 5. So 1s and 5s are definitely part of the equation if there's no 7s. 1s and 5s, for sure. And that means we have, like, our balance is 9. Which I guess would have to be 3, 6. Is that the only way to do that? Because if we did a 2, for example, if we did 1, 5, and then tried to make this 2, then we are at 7, and we had to make 7 again, and we have no way to do that. We couldn't do 1, 6. We can't do 7. We can't do 3, 4. I don't think there's a way to do that. So I think it has to be that if this is a 1, this is 5. And I think that means this has to be 6. So we're at 1, 5, 6, which is 12. And then we have 3s left over. And this is 6, and this is 5, and this is 6. One of these certainly has to be 6. Which means 5's not in here. Why am I making this so hard? You're from 5, 6, obviously. Is there something that then universally has to be true? Meaning, like, if there is 7 with a 5 or 6, either this is a 5-6 pair, in which case it's 11, and 4 is remainder, so it's 1 and 3, meaning there's no 2s, right? So in other words, if I put 6 here, if I put 6 here, then this is definitely 5, right? Which means I am at 11, 12, so there's 3 left if I put a 6 in, which means 2 doesn't work. Right, okay. I think it can never be 6, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This can never be 6 at least. We'll talk further on whether 6s can exist, period. But if I put 6 here, this is definitely 2. This is definitely 5. This is definitely 1. So I have 1, 2, 5, 6. So this 5 plus 6 is 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm just broken. So I don't think 6 can be there. That does mean I have a 5-7 pair. That does mean these digits are from 1, 2, 4, 6, which is not super awesome. But could we go further with that? Because was there another problem? If I kind of feel like something else just broke, or I was starting to break if I did that. Like if I put 5 here, this is definitely 6. So then this is definitely 2. And this is definitely 5, and this is definitely 6. This has to be 5 or 6 then. Then this, it has to be 5. Then this has to be 3. And I think that doesn't work. Because that gave me 5 plus 6 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 17. If I put, I'm sorry, I'm sure this is supposed to be easier than this. If I put 5 here, this is 6. And this is 5, and this is 6, and 5, 6, and 5, 6, right? And this is 2, right? Because it has to be. If I put 5 here, this is 6, so this is 2. And that means that this has to be, we're at 5, we're at 11, 12, 13. This doesn't work, right? If I put 5 here, this is 6, so this is 2. So it's 11, 12, 13, which I would have to, no, it does work. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make 14, not 15. This would be 1. That actually, that part works at least. So it's 5 and you're 6. So you become 2. 11, 4, no. Gosh. 11 plus 3 is 14. I think I made a mistake earlier with just bad arithmetic, so I hope I haven't just broken the puzzle. I probably have. 5, 6, 2, 1. Right? 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1 is 11, 12, 13, 14, which is what we are trying to make, right? 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1. So those are the digits that are valid. So this is definitely 6. from 5, 6. This is definitely 6 in that scenario. Which means 6 is not here or here. So this is the cage where there's no 6s. Right? In that scenario, we put the 6 here. So this would be the 6-less cage. I think. Which means this has to be 6 then. So the 6s would have to look like this. If this is truly the 6-less cage. And then there would be 2 5-less cages, which would be this cage and this cage. So we would have to have 5s in our remaining cages, which we can't. Which doesn't work. So we have to have 7s. Why did I make this so hard? I'm going to go through that one time and I'm going to actually type it in to prove it doesn't work. Right? Right? A 6 here puts a 5 here, right? Which puts a 5 here. Oops, I'm sorry. A 5 here and a 6 here. Right? This is definitely a 1 in that scenario. How did I decide that this was 6-less though? How did I rule out this 6 though? U became definitely 2. How did I rule 6 out of here? No, I don't remember. You're a 5 or 6. You're a 2 in this scenario. How did I rule that out? Oh, because you're right. You're only 6 in this configuration, because we're at 11, we have to get to 14. So we only need 3, so we can't have a 3. That's why. That was why. So that puts the 6 here. And that means this cage is 6-less and it is 5-less. So this has to be 6, right? And if that's true, if this is truly 6-less, we have to place a 6 here and we have to place a 6 here, because we have to have our 6 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But then we're only allowed to have 2 of these fire cages be 5-less, and we already have 1, and we have 2 because of this, and this would be 3. That would be 3 5-less cages, which is not allowed. I know I made this way more complicated than it's supposed to be, and I'm sorry, but I think that does mean that after all this was 7s, there's probably a way that I was supposed to see that 1,000 hours ago. But we already talked about what 7s mean. 7s mean this. I'm sure there was an easier way to see that. Good grief. 7s mean this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what that means. So then there's no, I'm sure I could have seen that earlier. What ridiculousness. Anyway, that does put 7 here, which means this is a 1, 2 pair, so it's not the 4. So this is 4 and this is 9. So you are the 8. You are not 4. Now with the 7s, we still have to make 7. And without a 4, it's not 3, 4, and it's not 1, 2, 4. So it's got to be 6, 1, or it's got to be 5, 2. And which one of those is it? It's never 3. Because if we do 7, 3, then we have 5 remaining, and we have no way then to make... Sorry, if we do 7, 3, we have 4 remaining. And then we have no way to make a 4 because we would have used the 3. So these are never 3. You are not an 8. You could be 6-1. You're not an 8, and you're not a 7. You are... I'm sure I know something about these, right? 6s. 6 has some places to be. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You are 249. So sorry, what did we decide that meant? It means that we need, it's either 5-2 or it's 6-1. And if it's 6-1, you're never 3, by the way. If it is 6-1, then we need 6s in all cages except this one, meaning this is 6, 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 this is 6. That's what that would mean. And then this would be 1. So 6-1 seems possibly viable. If we have a 6 here, for example. And then if this is 6, we need to make 4, which could just be the 1, 3. Alternatively, it would be 5-2, and we'd have 2 2s, which would be these 2 2s, and then everything else would be 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't work. We don't have 5. There's just not 5 5s. We only have 1, 2, 3, 5s. There's not 5 5s. That's easy. Was there some very silly way that I could have seen a version of that earlier? But it's just not possible. So there are 6 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is the odd 6 out. Oh no, Blobz. I feel like my solving has gotten worse. I admittedly have not been practicing very much lately. I've still been deep in a Balatro frenzy. Serious Balatro addiction. 9 is fine. That does make you 8, and that does, you're just 1 2 pair, that's correct. You are 6 and you are the 5. 5's there, you are 9. You are the 6 then. Why did I make that so complicated? I'm sure it was right in front of my face. I'm positive. And you're gonna tell me, and it's gonna be embarrassing. What? I need to color these so I know if they're big or small. Oh my, I'm sure there was a way to see this so quickly and easily. Sad, sad story. Okay. 7, 8, 9. 3, 5 pair. Not a 5. You're a 3. You're a 5. You are 1. So you are the 2 and you are the 1. You are 8. So you're a 2, 4 pair, which are both low. You're a gray 5. You're just part of a 1, 2, 3 triple, yes. And there's a 1, 2 pair there, so you're a 3. You're part of the 1, 2 pair. You're a low. And wrong. You are a 4, 8 pair, which I don't think is untangled. Okay, so our trees are happy. Our cages are mostly happy. Our fires are happy, I really hope. We have 6 plus 7. Oh, 6 plus 7 is 13, and we need the 1. And then now we're just down to Sudoku, presumably. This is a 5, so these must sum to 11 that are not 4, 7 and not 5, 6. So they must be 2, 9 or 3, 8. 2, 9 or 3, 8. Oh, the 3, the 8, the 9. So they're either 2, 9 or 3, 8, right? And this cannot be 3, and this cannot be 8. This cannot be 9, so this cannot be 2. So we at least get the parity of them. And then that means we need one more low digit here. And you're just part of a 2, 3, 4. Oops. So 2, 3, 4. And you are another low digit. High digit. 7, 8, 9. 8 is over here. 9. A little less sure of. 9's over here. 7's, 6's. What? No, all are 5s. We get a lot of them. So the other half of the 8, 9 pair here, which is, but it's just not very clear. The 8 is over here for sure. Now I just can't even do basic Sudoku. What a tragedy. It is the 2 down here, because there's no 2 up here. You are a 2. So you are a 3, and you are, oops, a 4, and you're a 2, and you're a 4. No 4s here. That does just make this an 8, 9 pair. It's fine with me. And that does put a 4, 9 up here. The 9 is seen. Oopsie. Dang it. 4. Okay. You're a 9. You're a 4. And you are a 1. You're not a 1. And you are from 2, 4, or 9. The 2. The 4. The 2, the 4, the 1, the 9. The 2. The 8, the 9. The 3. The 8. Well, except for the part where I just completely lost the plot in the middle. That was really, like, the break-in, it moved so smoothly, and then I just completely dropped the ball on. And I feel pretty certain it was related to something very obvious from the counting. And then once we got that, the other side was very smooth too. So I will say, broadly, very smooth solve and very lovely interaction until I just blew it in the middle, which I'm very disappointed by, so I apologize for that. But otherwise, it felt really nice. I liked the way everything was interacting at the beginning. The break-in was so smooth, and then everything was just moving so smoothly until I just lost the plot. This was very good too. I guess you could have broken it in here. Excuse me. Like, this was almost like a secondary break-in, because we got one, this was just given to us, right? We got polarity over here given to us, and then this one was basically given to us. So that was very nice, like that we were able to break into both trees. I wonder if I could have known it was 7 from the very beginning when I thought it was 7, and then maybe I could have ruled out 5s already at that point, or I don't know, Blobz. Thank you for the puzzle.